And, like I said, now I don't know, but I know I left her. I left her about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I left her. She was fine. She was just like me and you, talking, happy, watching the news and everything. Everything was fine.
Oh, she was
And
like that tonight.
uh, what?
She was that good tonight.
Last night,
Oh, before this happened.
yesterday, before the stroke.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah. And then afterwards, and then this morning I saw her in the floor. Now I saw her in the floor this morning, but she had pillows with her. And I thought, well, maybe she got up in the middle of the night, used the bathroom, and decided to just crash on the floor because,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, maybe she just wanted to do it. Maybe she just wanted to crash on the floor. And she seemed a little out of it. And I said, well, I'll let her rest a little bit. And so I went back later and she was still out of it. And I said, well, I'll give her one more try. I went back later. She was still out of it. And that's why, okay, that's it. I'm calling the ambulance. And so I did. And, and the rest is history, as they say. Larry Frost of Oneida, Kentucky, sent Jessica Judy of Hamilton, Ohio, over to the hospital to get all the drama and find out all this shit and start a bunch of crap. And, and as a result, it's very possible that could be my mother's demise. It's going to pull a Bill O'Reilly and do it live. All right. Fuck it, do it live. Okay. Here's the deal. The situation was not supposed to have been discussed at all. Apparently, Larry Frost decided to tell the whole goddamn planet, personal matters between me and my mother. I sent my mother to the hospital early this morning, and because she was lethargic and she was on the floor, and so I sent her to the hospital this morning. And apparently, she had apparently had a stroke, and Larry busted his ass to start a bunch of shit and tell everyone on the goddamn planet my and my mother's personal business. The thing of it is that the last thing a stroke victim needs is to have someone go to the hospital and start playing 20 questions with them. That's the last thing they need. A stroke victim, particularly one who's had their speech affected by a stroke, the last thing they need to do is to try to talk. That's the last thing they need to do. They need quiet. They need darkness. They need to rest. They need to relax. Okay? They literally could cause her to have another stroke tonight because, see, the stroke she had, when I found her this morning, she had the stroke during the middle of the night. And she could literally have another one because she was not allowed to have rest. Larry Frost of Oneida, Kentucky, sent Jessica Judy of Hamilton, Ohio, over to the hospital to get all the drama and find out all this shit and start a bunch of crap. And, and as a result, it's very possible that could be my mother's demise because my mother had a stroke that affects her speech. Okay. She needed rest. She didn't need somebody sitting there trying to get her to talk. Oh my God. That's the last thing she needed. She needed rest. And if she dies from another stroke tonight, it will be Larry Frost of Oneida, Kentucky's fault and Jessica Judy of Hamilton, Ohio's fault. Now you say, well, Vaughn, maybe Jessica Judy didn't know. Maybe she honestly did not know. No, Jessica Judy is a registered nurse and her husband is a doctor. So if anybody fucking knew not to be yakking at her, it was Jessica Judy. And I am telling you right now, if my mother dies because she didn't get adequate rest after having this stroke, it will be because of Larry Frost and Jessica Judy. She needed rest. I didn't even tell my friends. My friends were emailing me. My friends were messaging me on Facebook. My friends were contacting me on mobile device. What's going on? I didn't talk to nobody because I wanted A, mom to get some rest, and B, because the specialist didn't know yet what was going to happen. The hospital didn't know yet what was going to happen.
How the fuck did Larry Frost even know anyway?
I'm going to explain. Larry Frost has 2 cameras in my mother's house illegally which is a violation of federal wiretapping laws, let alone an invasion of privacy, but it's invasion of federal wiretapping laws. Okay, and these 2 cameras were put in there under the auspices of a lie anyway. They lied and said somebody had broke into mom's house. No one had broken into mom's house. There's absolutely no signs of forced entry in my mother's house at all. None. Okay, so the cameras were put into the house on a lie. Okay, but yeah, Larry Frost bragged that he has been illegally recording me and my mother's private conversations and posting them on the internet to the trolls and haters.
Holy shit.
Which is not only is that a violation of my privacy, it is also a violation of federal wiretapping law. You ain't heard the best part. The best part is when I called the FBI and said there was cameras in my mother's house under less than normal conditions, the FBI didn't do shit. They didn't try to remove the cameras. Nobody did. Nobody wants to remove the cameras. Of course, it ain't going to matter now because there's a very good chance mom may expire tonight due to Larry Frost and Jessica Judy's involvement. Like I said, let me stress this one more time, okay? The last thing a stroke patient needs is someone to go to that hospital and start yakking at them and getting them to try to talk and shit like that. That's the last thing. Like I said, I mean, Jessica Judy is a registered nurse. Her husband is a doctor. She, of all people, should have known to not go up there and start a bunch of drama with my mother. She needed rest. She needed quiet. She needed time for her brain to heal. And she didn't get that. The thing of it is that, her being a registered nurse, she should have known this information. This is not, it's not rocket science. When you got somebody that's had a stroke, they need rest. They need to recuperate. They need for their mind to heal. See, the very center that controls speech and eating was the very center that had the stroke. That was the very one that got the stroke. Was the one that it was the center of speech and eating. The movement of the mouth. And so. But everybody's well, why didn't you call? Why didn't you pick up the phone? Because I didn't know any. The reason, 'cause I know that they're going to say, well, he never answered the phone. He never picked up the phone. We called, and he never picked up. Of course, I'm not going to pick up the phone because I need the phone free so that when the hospital calls me, I'll know what the fuck's going on. So that's number one. Number two, I didn't know anything any fucking way. What's the point of sitting there talking to people if I don't know anything? The hospital didn't know, the specialist didn't know, the doctor didn't know. We have to wait until morning to find out some information. That's why I didn't pick up the phone. That's why I didn't answer any calls. That's why I didn't tell my friends, because I didn't know. The specialists don't know. The hospital doesn't know. The doctors don't know. We wouldn't know anything until tomorrow about her situation. And so, no, I wasn't going to pick up any goddamn telephone call.
When did the stroke happen, Vaughn?
Huh?
What time did the stroke happen?
Apparently, the stroke must have occurred during the middle of the night. Because when I went over there early in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning to give her meds, she was in the floor. She was lethargic. She had slurred speech. She had trouble responding. And one side of her body was immobile.
So you called the ambulance and they came and pick her up?
Yeah, I called the ambulance. The ambulance went to pick her up. But really, at first I thought, well, she got up to use the bathroom during the night and she was tired and went to sleep on the floor because she had pillows with her. And at first I thought, well, maybe she just made her a pallet on the floor and went to sleep. And I said, well, I'll give her a little while to, wake up. And she wasn't waking up, though. That was the problem. And then that's when I called the ambulance. Mike 10 Dude, with what money am I supposed to go all the way to fucking Lexington? What money am I doing that with? I don't have Jerry's money. I don't have my money. I don't have my mother's money. I don't have my motherfucking inheritance money. I don't have any money, Mike, because you fucking YouTube trolls made damn sure that Clay County CPS, that Clay County in general, that the Frosts, and that every motherfucker on the goddamn planet had my fucking money but me. But now I want to make it abundantly clear that if my mother dies during the middle of the night, that it is the fault of Larry Frost of Oneida, Kentucky, And it is the fault of Jessica Judy of Hamilton, Ohio. And like I said, Jessica Judy's a registered nurse. She should have known better than to go up there and start playing 20 questions with a stroke victim. Holy shit.
In the hospital, she's in bed, and what happened? Someone called her? Someone came to the bed?
Someone came to the hospital. Jessica Judy went to the hospital. She left Hamilton, Ohio, and went to the hospital in Lexington, Kentucky. And I am saying categorically that if she dies in the middle of the night, it will be because of Larry Frost and Jessica Judy. Those people. Now, you say, well, they didn't exactly kill her. Well, call it whatever you want.
Yeah, you call whatever you want.
Call it whatever you want.
They had the part in it.
Well, call whatever you want. But, they are the ones that will be responsible. There is absolutely no reason for Larry to stick his nose in this at all. He had absolutely no business being in it whatsoever. And the fact that he did, and the fact that my mother was unable to get rest as a result, is going to be squarely at his feet and the feet of Jessica Judy. And like I said, folks, Jessica Judy's a registered nurse. She should have known better than to go up there to that hospital and stir a bunch of hornets' nests up. That was the last thing you want to do. But, like I said, now, is anything going to be done if she does die in the night? Of course not. Of course not. Because this has never been about what the law is, or about truth, or about any of that. So, no, there ain't going to be nothing done. I just want to make it clear, though, who's responsible, in case these motherfuckers try to turn around and spin this shit back on me. I want to make it abundantly clear who is responsible. I stayed away. Okay. I stayed away because I knew she needs rest. And I stayed away because I knew that mom, needed rest. And I knew that I talked to the specialist on the phone. I talked to the hospital on the phone, and I talked to her doctor on the phone, all of whom said, we're not going to know anything until the morning anyway. Get some rest, relax. Let her rest and relax, and we'll deal with it tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a plan. So I already had this ironed out with the doctor, the specialist, and the hospital. It was Larry Frost who once again stuck his nose where it did not belong and started a bunch of drama and a bunch of shit. And, and that's why I never answered no calls, because I needed the phone free in case the hospital called me. And what was the troll saying about December 11th or December 12th? Remember that? Remember the trolls kept saying something about December 11th and December 12th? Remember that? They kept talking about that over and over and over again. This is December 12th, and it happened on December the 11th during the night.
Maybe someone slipped or something in some water.
Well, isn't it interesting that obviously without her ability to speak, she can't testify in court. She obviously can't testify in court if she can't speak, right? So isn't that a coincidence?
It is coincident, yeah.
Isn't that a coincidence? That the stroke affected the very thing that she needed to prosecute the Frost. Isn't that amazing?
Vaughn, is there a way for you to monitor who's coming in and out at mom's house?
Well, other than sitting back there at the window and watching, no. My cameras have been disabled.
So wait, what? Your cameras? Your security?
My cameras have been disabled. Yeah, somebody pulled the power plugs out of them, and the dogs chewed up the cables before I even realized there was a problem. I did the right thing. I stayed away. I listened to the specialist. I listened to the doctor. I listened to the hospital, who said, and I quote, "We won't know anything definite until tomorrow. Right now, she needs rest." And I agreed with them. They agreed with me. We had this under control. Once again, we had the situation under control, and the Frosts fucked it up. Period. End of story. Just like they fucked up the bank account that me and mom had. Just like they fucked up everything else. Yeah, they bust her all the way. They ambulanced her all the way up there to Lexington, instead of taking her here to Manchester, where I could get there to her. And you never know. That could be something going on too there.
Maybe Frost told them to do that. Maybe Frost told them.
You never know. You never know. I was going to wait till tomorrow and then talk to the people at the hospital and then get an actual, handle on what's going on. And then I was going to release a public statement.
Mm-hmm.
But see, Larry got ahead and stuck his nose in me and my mother's personal business once again, fucked everything all up. And so now I'm forced to do a video that I didn't really want to do tonight. Yeah. And I have no choice, because they'll spin this. If she does die tonight, they'll spin it and try to make it sound like I'm the one that killed her or some shit. So I want to make that abundantly clear. If my mother dies tonight, it will be Larry Frost's fault. He's the one that started a bunch of drama today, not me.